Hello, it's really good to have you join us again on this show. This is Closeflow coming to you from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. And it's always and ever our delight knowing that you are out there patiently waiting for this program, because this is, I'm very sure, arguably one of your most favorite programs on television. So you'll be there patiently waiting to see how the conversation about Nigeria is opened up again. And we are not going to disappoint you, because we do believe that your opinion, your impressions, your comments, your participation in this conversation will go a long way to amplify and re-amplify the experiences, the impressions, and what our distinguished guests will be given to us on this program. So start by and be ready with your paper and your pencil and your biro, so you can have a takeaway from this. You can take something to the bank from whatever we're going to say here. That's the truth. Okay? The reason I'm saying that is that our guest for today is distinguished in every way. Actually, I should call him His Excellency, because it's a national honors awardee. That means the Nigerian government, the Nigerian people saw what he's doing, and they said we should give this man a recognition for his efforts in changing the narrative of Nigeria. Our guest is a Nigerian filmmaker, best director several times over, many award winners, not only in Nigeria but all over the world. But importantly, I think you may remember that story, Blood Diamond, from Sierra Leone. Well, he got involved in that. We shall talk about that. He's done over 30 titles, most of them, if not all of them, blockbusters, making incredible money for him and for those who took part in those exercises. Globally, the entertainment business is about $2.4 trillion. Our guests contributed to that massive wealth. So what are we talking about here? Is Nigeria in any way getting any benefit from that massive global treasury? $2.4 trillion. And we are still living like this. My pleasure to welcome on your behalf onto Closeflow today, Teco Benson. You're welcome to Closeflow.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Now, let's take it from there. Let's take it from the fact that we are sitting in an industry, or we are part of a global economy that churns out $2.4 trillion worth of value.
Yearly?
Yearly. How true is that? I mean, are we really part of that, or that is it's a mirage?
Well, most of the revenues that are documented in that database are lost to pirates. That's the truth. What they're giving is a net worth. Most of them are lost to pirates. And others are fizzled away in different ways. But the industry
can really generate that.
It has that potential, it has that capacity. But right now, so many structures, even where, especially piracy is robbing a lot from the industry. And like you and I know, the individual cannot fight piracy by himself. Murder is a big crime. So I can't take a gun and go to so we know them. People know the pirates.
But how do you not go and accost the pirates individually?
God bless you. Even sometime in the past, Nigerian Copyright Commission went to their major base to go pick them up. They burnt their vehicles, chased them away from the
We'll talk about that later.
And nothing happened.
Yeah, because the judiciary actually will only give the Copyright Commission only one policeman, unarmed, to go and
confront. Yeah, that's another issue.
But that really is not funny, is it?
It's not. It's scary. Everybody's also scared for his life. When you allow these monsters to grow beyond a certain threshold where even normal individuals are scared. Even the security agencies are also scared of going there. Yes. So what is our fate? So it's really a bad situation.
Okay, well, so first we have two sides of the coin now.
Okay.
We have the positive side. The industry can generate, yes, this massive wealth.
That's right.
This humongous wealth. But the flip side is that we are not actually getting to see that because of the structures. Now, let's come back to you. You were first an actor.
That's right.
You're still looking like an actor. So why this filmmaking?
Branch over, right? Well, I came in initially as an actor because in '92, something happened in Nigeria. Before this time, for people in my generation, we were used to foreign films and television.
TV dramas.
Exactly.
So that was on NTA.
NTA, that's right. They were just the only singular television then, and few state-owned television. NTA was quite big, and they had their national presence everywhere. They had programs that cut across different languages. They were everywhere, and they helped in molding most of us then that grew watching this TV as opposed to what we have today. Because the kind of liberty we have now is shocking.
Teco, we will talk about today. Let's leave that one because many of our viewers, I'm sure they are eager to join you.
Okay.
So that's how you agree. So
that's right. It helped us to mold, So today the situation is different. All right. So now in '92, a film called Living in Bondage
came out.
Was released. Before Living in Bondage, in the time of our fathers, there was a film industry that we had, but we didn't participate. There were cinemas everywhere, controlled by Lebanese people and all that. So eventually that era died. So within our own time growing up, there was a lacuna. We didn't experience that. And, films, we are basically seen in cinemas. Cinemas closed down, converted to churches. But in our own time, Living in Bondage now came, and it was shown on television. The quality was beautiful. The story was nice. We were able to relate with it. We saw ourselves. We heard the language. It was even in our local language. So the reception was massive. And the message was very, very shocking because, you see, it dwelled on a topic of ritual money making.
Yes.
By then, people, we hear stories once in a while.
But we never want to admit to the public that.
Exactly. So that was shocking. So it was like, come and see American Wonder. So that movie took the whole nation by storm. Even people that didn't understand the original language for which it was made had interpreters doing it. And because of the kind of demand they had, the makers of that movie
quickly went
to subtitle it. And it went far. And that was what redefined the whole thing. Everybody came into the industry. Now, I came in '94, all right? And
that's 2 years after.
2 years after. So I came in as an actor because I had that running in my life, but there was no place to ventilate or express myself. So I saw opportunity. So I went in as an actor. But behind, right in my spirit, my calling was beyond acting. My calling was to use that medium of film
to pass on a message.
To pass a message and to make a change. And positive change that will lead to positive behavior change.
Okay.
All right.
I like that. I like that. What I would want to coin experience value.
Okay.
Now, my worry, though, Teco, that is coming from that point to now. If you're going to now just do a reflection, are we actually seeing that change coming from Nollywood? Are we seeing that change coming from our storytellers? Are we seeing that change coming from even the depiction you see in front of cameras? The actors, the actress, are they actually giving us that change?
Truly, there's been lots of positive change from Nollywood. I know these days a lot of parents are trying to refrain their words and children from watching the movies because of some perceived bad content coming from some of the filmmakers.
Yes.
But if we leave that aside, we've had serious impact on Nigerian audience. Nigerian audience, they have grown massively from the point Nollywood came on board. In terms of communication, in terms of speaking, in terms of behavior, fashion, several ways we have been able to impact even beyond the borders and shores of Nigeria to other nations. Do you know that people outside Nigeria, in Africa, they copy our style of building. They try to speak like us. They try to dress like us. I'm telling you, if they see a big house, they say the house is evil. They call it some funny names. Even our own kind of pigeon is being emulated by other people. These are positive vibes. Because before we came, all our emulation was based on
coming from outside,
from the West, and they have completely messed up our psyche. We like to dress. I'm even guilty. See what I'm wearing. I'm supposed to put up a proper Nigerian dog with a cap to fit. But see me now, we are all messed up. Even our food, My own kids, you bring some African food for them to eat.
Daddy, what's this?
I'm telling you, it's terrible. This is not good for us. And all this were impacts from some of these foreign things that we saw. And that was why when Nollywood came, we were able to smash some of these things because they are targeted at our culture and our values.
Beautiful.
They are.
Now I like that. What I want us now to come to would be the question of action movies.
Okay.
Now, you pioneered that.
That's right.
A lot of people did not believe that movies of that caliber, with the kind of, as it were, you need to retrain people. They don't need to speak too much. You need to see the activity coming from the camera. So, what pushed you? What nudged you in that direction?
Well, I will be very truthful. From '92, the very first movie that signaled this new industry, like I said, was Living in Bondage. And the team it came with was Ritual, Blood Money, and all that. And it was very, very successful. And even with that, there was triumph of light over darkness. So that seemed to influence most of the films that came afterwards. So many, even my early movies that I acted in, most of them were on that part. You know, so the media now, at a point, became very critical of our industry. You know, they felt that this has been overdone. We need to change this narrative. And I am a very good listener. I know these guys were not being just funny. They were not witch hunting us. They just felt that we have given enough of days. Even if you want to retain that, let it be skeletal. Why there should be, you know, give people choices. You know, so they kept doing the market forces. People believe in what is selling. There's this bandwagon thing. When one person does and it sells, everybody jumps into it. Yes. You know, so I sat down. I said, no, I have to stop this. Let me make a change. Let me listen to the heartbeat of this media because they know what they're saying. So I experimentally, I did a movie called Eye for Eye. Experimentally, Eye for Eye. The for there was spelled with four. Yeah. Eye for Eye.
Yes, yes.
And I released the movie. It was very successful. People welcomed it. The action was very intense. And there wasn't even much visual effects and all that. People received it. I said, no.
Wow, this is good.
Yeah. I said, no more. So I flipped over completely and followed it up with a movie called Executive Crime.
Yes.
It was a pure action movie with Tony Umes and stuff and different people where he acted the president's son. And people didn't even believe he could come from Nigeria. The reception was so massive. So I said, okay, let's do a big one. We now do state of emergency. And that was in year 2000, 17 years ago. And that one now blew the nation apart. You know, so I was seriously encouraged that this could work. With the limits of our resources, with the limits of our technology, there was no pyrotechnicians here. Yes. There were nothing. We were able to manage and by ourselves. Third world country that could not make razor blade, we were able to do that. You know, so the reception was a very big encouragement. So we made more. Broad Daylight, Formidable Force, Warfront, and on and on and on. Yes. Exactly. Yes. Many of them came, and it completely changed the narrative. And a lot of people followed suit and actually came into that aspect of filmmaking. And right now, we have lots of people that have that training. Yes. People that can stay in computer.
Not even the training, the experience. And the growing maturity.
Exactly.
Yes. Now you have said something that I need to also echo. You have said that the Nollywood has actually become, well, somebody described it as the new imperial power in terms of creative content. That Nollywood has become the latest imperial power, not only on the continent but across the world. And you have already said that even outside of Africa, people are already buying into the lifestyles created by Nollywood.
Completely, Nollywood is a great force.
Now, Teco, that therefore imposes responsibility
and the moral burden.
Yes,
that's right.
Filmmakers coming from Nollywood.
That's right.
So
I agree.
How would you now want to speak to that?
Well, just to a little re-echo what you said, I came back from Kenya some few months ago, and the taxi driver that took me from the airport to my hotel was so impressed that I'm a Nigerian. He began to give me the stories of the movies he has seen that ensured that we are their only hope. Funny enough, some of them don't even watch their own. They believe so much in our own. Sometimes it causes problem between Nigeria and other countries. They get a little bit, they feel bad. Yes, you know, there was a point in time Ghana had that problem.
Yes, and you have to go.
We'll talk about that. So, so now the impact is everywhere. And the good thing about this is that we are Africans. We are the same people. These people could see themselves in our movies. South Africa has an industry that is more advanced in terms of technology because they're still controlled by the white people.
Yes. But
their content,
in terms of story.
Exactly. Because their content is still being dictated by the masters.
Yes.
These guys, though there's pseudo-independence, but they're still controlled economically otherwise.
Pseudo.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, they still have that.
Yes.
So now, if you want to tell a story, they are going to fund it. And you want to tell the story that will be wrong, that will come from your own perspective against them, they're not going to fund that. So anything that they must fund must come from a perspective they will approve. But here, we don't have that kind of control.
Yes.
That we have media democracy. People have that democratic liberty to express themselves. So information in the public sphere here is dominated by multifaceted opinions from different fields, and we are richer, and people could see from different point of views, and it makes us much better. And that is the beauty of Nollywood. And right now, like you said, it poses a big burden on us because a lot of people are looking towards us. So that's why I frown at a lot of my colleagues, because of piracy and some challenges we have in terms of distribution, is beginning to affect the returns on the investment in the industry. And because of that, people are looking for other ways of survival. And nothing sells like sex. So a lot of people, they have diverted completely. I have seen one that was complete porn, almost. I couldn't believe it. I had goose pimples. I felt very bad because when somebody sees that, they're going to use that to refer to all of us as if we are all guilty. And you don't blame them because everything is Nollywood, so it's very bad, So I feel that the guilt, because we have different guilds in the industry.
But we also look at that.
Exactly.
We also look at the question of guilds, okay? Now, but one thing I would like to quickly, I want to see if it's possible. We've had the Steven Spielberg of this world. We've had the other great storytellers coming from other communities. I want to see if it's possible. Can we begin to look at our Teco Benson as another Steven Spielberg?
Well, it's difficult for me to answer you directly as a person because, you see, the audience are the judges in this case. But what I would tell you...
in terms of your commitment, in terms of your vision,
exactly.
in terms of your hope for the industry. Yes?
Very good, very good. Now, I'm somebody that is consistent in my style, and I have serious passion for change. So, when I'm making any movie, right from the script, I make sure that it, goes in line with that vision and the calling I told you I have. You have to entertain people, educate them, right? Inform them, at the same time entertain them, right? But without, like we said, you also highlighted that the moral burden is there. We are Africans, we are not Westerners.
Yes.
If you see their movie, you might see a triumph of darkness over light.
Yes.
Somebody can just come wipe out the entire society and see go free, nothing is going to happen to him. We are Africans, for Christ's sake.
We can't allow that to
Yes, the sanctity of life is something that we obey very much. We don't just kill people or do things and allow these things go because people believe so much in what they see in movies. So we need to be careful the stories we are telling, So I believe much in that. So it actually has affected me, because sometimes you discover that the wrong kind of movies might be selling at a particular point because that's what people want to see.
Yes.
And you see a lot of people rushing towards that to make money. But if you are that kind of person that is concerned about making impact, you make money.
For the future.
Yes, you make money. Even for Christians, it's documented in the scriptures. The Bible says, seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and every other thing shall be added unto you. So as an individual, if you want to make a film and inside your heart you have a passion to make a positive impact on the audience, I'm telling you, money will come.
Eventually.
And even beyond your imagination. The other guys can just get quick fix, quick money that will just come, and that's it. And they just fizzle away. The film stops selling like magic. It can sell within the first 1 month, and that's all.
And then after that,
it's benched for life. Nobody goes back to it. But your own becomes a reference point over and over, generations to generations. So who is better? It's very simple. Doing things the right way, it pays.
We want our viewers to take hold.
That's it.
Now, but getting to the act, how do we get to the very heart of the actions that we see in your movie? Because Nigerians are not known for, as it were, before now.
That's right.
Until you came and then people were not like, so this can be done. So how do we get to the heart of those said actions?
Very good. Before I went into action movies, like you said, I was already in the industry. So I acted, became a producer eventually, produced regular movies, regular movies, films like Scores to Settle, Suicide Mission. You know, we started with all that. Compromise, we did some movies before I eventually went back to directing. Then it was when I went to directing, because director is the author of the movie.
Yes.
The writer is the author of the script, but director authors the movie. And that's what they call auteur theory in filmmaking. If people, you know, some people have control on their movie. I will tell you, people can see my film without seeing a credit in the beginning, and they know this is a Teco Benson film, you know, because they've been able to, over time, you know, identify
your signature.
Exactly. So, right? So, and I have that power and influence on my content. You are able to see me in it, you know. So it's something that I'm particular about. So over these years that I did the regular movies, I was able to see people that could fit into action sequences. I was able to figure out story, because growing up, James Bond movies, you know, actually influenced me a lot, you know. And
like many of us.
Yes, and again, where I grew up, my father was a civil servant. I grew up in a government reserve area that had forest reserve. So as kids, we could move in and do some adventure. After watching foreign TV programs like the famous 5 YouTube people for NTA, I recruit my gang and we go do all this. So it influenced me a lot, you know. So those things influence my creativity, you know. So those are the things that we will try to reenact, but at the same time, you try to make sure that these things are laced with values. There will be a triumph of light over darkness. And my films were somehow prophetic. The film like State of Emergency, if you look at what happened there and what is happening now, or you look at Terror, where we spotlighted kidnapping and all that,
and now
everything is, they're like prophetic, you know, but it wasn't conscious. No pastor or nobody said we should do that, or imam or something. But
just observing the environment.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
You're able to project.
To the environment.
Exactly. And that shows that people in this industry are vessels. God used them to ventilate. That's why when you have a talent, it's not from you. There's a bigger force. When you are creative, you are sleeping, you wake up and you are writing, you think you are the person because you are receiving an award. No, it's much bigger than that. There's a power that is looking for a way to bring express. Out those.
Okay, now let's go to the God factor.
Okay.
Because that is one area that Nigerians are they find easy to latch onto. Now, the God factor, in some of the stories, that resolution, sometimes it takes forever to emanate.
Okay.
The story is almost like watered down. Then it becomes an anticlimax to see the God factor being resolved.
Okay.
I know we don't have that issue with some of your plots, because you can see that, yes, the darkness may seem to be on the rise, but you can always see the hint of the fact that there will be a light at the... But who helps? Do we have a film school to guide our people, to structure them, to create climaxes, create suspenses, to create all the hangings that they need? Do we have that opportunity?
God bless you. The foundation of a good movie, filmmaking, is the story. And now, it's all about storytelling. So there's a technique to storytelling. Some people don't have that technique. Because they see the industry, people are writing stories, they're making money. You just go write your own and look for an uncle, he gives you money, they make the movie, it come out. Every movie is called Nollywood. You know, but there are people, like in our own time, it was just Nigerian Film Institute over there in Jos. There was no film school anywhere. So we learned in the field originally before we started going to go and better ourselves. You know, people like me, I travel abroad while others are going to have some fun. I was investing in books, in filmmaking, because the internet was not here.
At that time.
Exactly. You know, but now the young guys who are here now are so lucky. Just go and Google, go to YouTube, you'll be amazed. You can go to school at free of charge overnight and study and read and enrich yourself. Because you can learn in the field, but sometimes you don't know the reason behind a lot of things that you learned, you know, during the experiential training. So you need to really back it up with some theoretical or academic just to back it up. But I know the experiential training is much, much better. If you can learn from the field, from the masters, you are going to emerge a better person. But you need a place to get like the techniques we are talking about now. Do you understand? It's very key. So when you tell your stories with the right techniques, like if you watch my films, people say they can predict movies. You won't be able to predict. I'm sorry. I keep laughing when I get to go my movie. I just sit and be watching. I see the heart attack. That's one of the secrets. And if you can lace your movie with suspense, you are going to generate a lot of heat. It will help you to have a powerful resolution. Like there's a movie I did called Mission to Nowhere.
Yes.
The movie caused high blood pressure on people, you know, because it was...
Because it keeps going.
Yes. It was...
Up,
exactly.
And then you thought it's going to be... Then suddenly it goes up.
It moves up again. It was only in the end that people saw the resolution and people now heaved a sigh of relief. So you were able to keep them on the edge until the end. So if you can have those kind of techniques in writing scripts, everybody must be interested. So people go straight jackets and just do it that way. So, but lots of people now, like, there are so many film schools right now.
Yes.
Apart from the internet I'm talking about, in Lagos here there are a dozen film schools. One of my friends just established one in Benin. Everywhere there are film schools everywhere now. So there's no excuse for failure now. Except people don't want to learn. People just want to wake up and
make money overnight.
Yeah, you have to really work hard. Filmmaking, much as you see it as exciting or colorful on screen, takes a lot of hard work. I remember about when I was making some of those action movies, we have to go film in the cemetery. As a child growing up, they said if you come out in the midnight, you can see ghosts. So we used to be scared of coming out in the night. But I've made movies 1 a.m. We're in the cemetery where people were buried. I've never seen one ghost. I've been looking for a cutaway of a ghost so I can put it in a movie. I've never seen one ghost. I've shot in bushes in Amuwodofi now. That place was complete bush in the 90s. We made lots of movies there in the midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. We never, even when I was making Broad Daylight, where we buried the bullion van and the vehicles on the ground. Yes. You know, the people that robbed the bank.
And you did that movie years back, and today we are hearing story of silos of money buried.
You know, so we buried that bullion van around 2 a.m. in the midnight in around the bush in Amuwodofi. We didn't see any ghosts. You know, so the filmmaking takes a lot of hard work. Persistence. It's not easy. So, and nothing good comes easy. So people should begin to learn, stop this quick fix attitude that we have. It's a problem that the youths have. That's why they're going into kidnapping, robbing, and all sorts of evil. You know, nothing good comes easy. And there's a ladder, there's growth process. You don't just wake up and you're on top. Even some young guys who want to come into the industry, they don't want to wait and go through the process. Even some girls, you keep hearing stories of sexual harassment and stuff. So they walk themselves into that
trap.
Exactly. Because they hear you're doing audition and they have judged themselves even before coming. They're scared. They know they can't make it. So the best thing is to find out who the producer is and go and mortgage his conscience somewhere so that he can put his name as number one before even the people come for audition. So these are things that should be discouraged in a sane society like ours.
In a sane society like ours, and we know that movie makers, filmmakers are like vessels.
Surely.
When we come back, we'll take on what that is supposed to be, what that should do to the economy, what that should do to the nation, what that should do to the narrative about Nigeria. Vessels. Vessels of honor or vessels unto dishonor. Let's have Teco answer that question. And you'll also be a part of the conversation. He has given you a wide spectrum for you to speak into right now. So you cannot blame you should not blame him if tomorrow you cannot define where you are as a Nigerian. Join us after this break.
When we came up with the team, say Operation Zero Tolerance, we were saying zero tolerance to deaths on our roads. We were saying having zero crashes, yes, on our roads.
We'd love to see you in Dashiki or Dandogo or Agbada.
The youth still have a very big chance of making a very big difference. That's why I started a lot of projects.
We have not been able to distinguish traditional medicine from traditional religion. So that one has...
Every edition is an arresting conversation with distinguished Nigerians from various strata of the society, bearing their minds on how we can realize the Nigeria of our dreams. Join us live on Closeflow, Monday and Friday, every week here on NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Closeflow. The conversation is about you. Thank you for staying with us. It's still Closeflow, and it is hot in the studio because the flow of the information from our guests is just sizzling. Now, I don't know where it is with you, but I'm just a little bit under pressure here because of the things he has said, and I do hope you can join us and see how we are going to unwrap this conversation, to suit where the nation should be. Now, content is changing from just being entertaining to almost being autobiographical. People are not telling their own stories. They are injecting a little bit of themselves, just like you said, a little bit of you. People can see your signature in some of your movies. Africans, are we telling our stories appropriately with the rest of the world? If you take an aggregate, are we?
Well, there's lots of influence right now. Africans originally, like if you watched early Nollywood movies, you could see the raw African culture displayed. There's a trend that is worrying right now, and people begin to believe that the more Western you are, even in your lifestyle, in your approach, in your storytelling, the more trendy you are. And that is where the big problem is coming. I believe there's a Western control of the media that is going everywhere, beyond broadcasting to television to movies to everywhere, because there's an agenda for the kind of narrative they want pushed worldwide. They've been doing that in the West, and they're bringing it here now.
There's a professor at Harvard University who also echoed what you have just said. There is a cloud of images.
That's right.
Being controlled
That's
by
right.
very few people all over the world, and that those images are actually targeting the entire world population.
That's it.
You agree with that?
Completely. You must know that's what is called New World Order.
Yes.
That's where the world is going to. So everything, including fashion, movies, entertainment,
So you're saying this
lifestyle, everything
this
is
lewdness that we are seeing all over the world.
It's an agenda. If you look at it, go back to your NTA has been there for more than
Yes.
more than 50
40
years.
years. 40 years.
God bless you. Just go to the images you've been broadcasting. If you look at the women, every year, if the skirt was here in 1950,
By now.
it keeps going. It keeps going.
And very soon we won't have any skirt again.
Yeah, because if you look at it, what we call civilization is somehow funny. So if you have your skirt here, you are civilized. If you have your skirt here, you are backward. That is the interpretation that has been sold. Now,
Which is against the typical African concept of...
That's it. That's one thing that is even worrying me more. When you go through our streets and see the way our ladies dress,
Now.
they feel they're dressing like the white man, right? Because everybody is copying the West. Like our hairstyle, using the real human hair, the kind of makeup people do now. Somebody you know before, after the makeup, you are seeing a completely different person. They're like paint artists. These people are great. They're artists. Somebody will color herself and come out as a different individual. Nobody's ugly now, like
Yes.
with makeup. Advent of makeup. So right now we have changed ourselves and our cultures completely because we want to be like what we are not. So automatically we all have inferiority complex. They've succeeded in giving us that. And every effort we make now is to be like them. They are the people we are copying. You speak, you might be Hausa, you might be Yoruba or Calabar or Akwa Ibom,
But
you speak your language boldly and somebody is laughing at you that you are sounding local. That's an embarrassment. That's an insult. And this country should begin to fight against that. I've seen lots of films from South Africa. People speak with their accent and they're happy about it.
Yes.
And no complaint.
Because that's where that's who they are.
That's their identity, for Christ's sake. Somebody from America speaks his English. I know he's from America. Somebody from Britain speaks his own English. I know he's from England.
And somebody from Germany the same.
Exactly.
Even a Chinese, you will know that.
God bless you. I now do my own. You are laughing at me. You say I'm either Igbotic or Yorubatic or Hausatic or Calabatic. It doesn't make sense. That is inferiority complex. And now everything we are doing is trying to be like them. Our
So you're saying
story,
no, we shouldn't do
yes,
that.
Our original stories are laced with values.
Yes.
It's not good to steal. It's good to respect your elders. You wake up, you greet your parents. You see anybody that's older than you, even on the road, you say hello. You greet the person, good morning. It won't take anything away from you. This is how we grew. But now we're copying the West. You travel abroad, people don't even talk to each other. That's what we're copying. That's what we're becoming. We used to
And
be
we are
very common
depicting
now.
that in our stories now.
In our stories now, that's what we're selling. So if you want to sell the original thing that is even the good way, that is the only hope for us. People see your story as being backward. But the more Western you go, haven't you seen people say these Nollywood people are crazy? They won't even kiss well. They want to have sex, they will just climb on top of it and close the door. These people are stupid. If it's foreign film, they show it well. You know, how can you be hearing this kind of thing in our society? So sometimes the audience push up the industry.
The producers.
Exactly. And the more you put those, the more your movie sells. That's the trick.
And that actually it is determinant.
Exactly.
Because after all, you have to pay bills.
That's it.
Okay. Let me quickly thank all our viewers who have joined us, with their comments and questions. We'll try and run through them and see how Teco handles them. But before I read your questions, I'm thanking you. Yes, thank you for joining us. Thank you for keeping the conversation alive. But before I take on your questions, let me just quickly throw this one at Teco. You have said something about, can these vessels be honorable to this environment, or will they continue to dishonor the environment? What do we need to do? Who is at stake? What's at stake here? The government, the practitioners, the viewers, so how can we make these vessels become honorable to this environment?
There's no way you can get all the vessels to be honorable. This world, there's a battle of the soul. The world is about battle of the soul. Everybody wants to control your soul. Even the government wants to control your soul. Even devil wants to control your soul. Government wants to control your soul. It's all battle of the soul. So, and when we talk about vessels, some people are there as vessels for the devil. Some people are vessels for God. Some people are vessels for different kind of forces. Some people who are creative are vessels. They know where they tap their own ideas from. So it's all over the place, But the thing is, the secret lies in bringing it to consciousness and letting people know.
You have a responsibility.
Exactly. Because for media, the first objectivity is truth. You have to be objective. You have to be truthful. It's a burden you have. You have to
as
be
a
truthful.
media practitioner. I hope our viewers are listening to this.
Yeah, you have to be truthful. Even in media right now, because objectivity is said to be utopian,
yes,
you begin to hear about fairness, But the thing is, the society, the way it is, for movies, we have that creative license, But there's always this story about he who
pays the piper
dictates the tune. So it happens. That's why sometimes some people will want to give you fund to make a movie. And you must go with the agenda. You must align with the agenda. Now we have gay agenda, we have different kind of agenda everywhere. So you have to decide. If you want to make the big money, it's a choice you have to make. If you want to follow your conscience and be okay with yourself, it's your conscience. That's the world we are living in right now. So you choose what you want to be. It's a free world. Even God is not forcing anybody.
Yes.
It
leaves the choice to
exactly, make the choice. But in the end, there's judgment waiting for anybody, everybody.
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Judgment Day. Okay, let's see what Judgment Day has for Teco. This is Equity from Ajegole. Sir, you said something about positive behavioral change. Please, what is your take on the excessive nudity in the entertainment industry? Well, you are just...
Well, like I said it before, sex is selling right now. You see a magazine that has nothing to do with naked women. You have their cover, they have women.
Even
naked
cars
women
have naked women.
Exactly. Even design of cars now, so many things about sex. And you can see somebody who is even married and he wants you to compliment him with sexy, that you're looking sexy, and the person is happy. But in the original African parlance, that's an abomination,
yes,
to say that somebody is looking sexy. Because the word sexy is like you're advertising sex, right? So when you're sexy, if you want to go the other way, it means you have a lot of seductive spirits that are going with you, that a man can look at you and he'll be dispossessed of his... if you look at it the other way,
yes,
but right now, even people want to explain beauty, or even your car is good. They say the car is sexy. Everything is sexy. What does it show? There's another. Sex is ruling the world. Sex is ruling the world. So it's a choice that we have, because the government has a burden too. That's why sometimes government can fund some movies consciously. Government should
balance this information.
Exactly, because it's their responsibility.
I like that.
Yeah,
so you're speaking now as it were to government, National Orientation Agency.
Simple.
They should be able to note this.
Exactly.
I said, look, it is not by hammering on people's head.
Exactly. Because you can't get it by coercive You know, sometimes you do a conscious campaign on TV to coerce people into doing some things. Sometimes it doesn't work.
It's a subtle.
It's a subtle way of doing it, and movies are the only way you can do that. You go and hide under a movie maker, fund him, push up your agenda. You know, because like you said, NOA. I once did a reality show with them.
Yes.
You know, they have to begin to identify areas where we have problems. Like we have a lot of tribal problems.
Yes.
Now. The nation is everywhere.
Yes.
We are the same. We are brothers. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we are forced into this amalgam called Nigeria.
Yes.
But we have come here to say we've been enjoying ourselves. It's a big country. As a filmmaker, I release my movie here in Lagos. People will buy it in Kano, buy it in
Sokoto,
buy it everywhere. Exactly. So I enjoy this big market. But if the moment we succeed in cleaning ourselves, we reduce ourselves to small empires. And for you to go outside that small empire to the other empire, you have to begin to talk about visas. You have to talk about export and import.
And that's a different impediment.
Exactly.
Okay, so I hope equity, you have already understood what Teco is trying to say there. So it's a choice. Also, our government should be part of making that choice. Ekene, it is good to see a behind the camera creator like you. We appreciate you creatively and hope to see more new movies from you, from your stable. That's Ekene.
Okay. Ekene from...
well, you didn't give us where.
Its location, okay?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we are working on new movies. Right now, I am working on a television series. I just finished one that is on air. It's called Fast Lane. And I'm working on a second one, and I'm noticing that television now is growing so much. You know, call it cable, call it terrestrial, online. It's becoming very effective. You know, so because I have messages, I want to
push across.
You know, so we need to begin to exploit every window of communication to be able to achieve this within the limited time we have left. Because everybody that's a human has a time
frame.
Exactly. You know.
And that's the currency of eternity. There's a time frame. So Kene, he says thank you for noticing that, but please go and see other areas where messages are being passed. Taye, what does it take to be a script writer and qualifies a script to get to the stage of acting in it?
Very good. You must be, there's something I tell my people who come to train under me. It's always good to have that talent first. Because the scripture says the gift of a man makes a way for him. So if you have the talent, first of all, like if you don't have the gift or the talent of singing, you're not a singer, you're not a musician. No matter the school, even if you have PhD, you can't change you. You must make sure that talent is there first of all. Then you go and learn. That is why education is very key. And like I said before here, the beauty now, even if you don't have money, you have access to the internet. You can go and learn the technique. Because if you must get the technique right, it's not just about telling story, cock and bull story. That Afolabi came from Ijabode, he stopped in Shagamu and came to Lagos, and so on. That happens every day. So you have to tell a story that will make somebody want to see it. If somebody can tell a little story about a woman that fries akara in Oshodi, but the way you tell that story, the technique you deploy in telling the story will make even somebody in Aso Rock forget about proceedings in the Senate and watch your story and be carried away. That's the beauty of this technique. So you need to learn the technique so that you can tell the story in a way that you can put your viewers on edge. Make them forget their breakfast and lunch together, just trying to see the end and conclusion and the resolution of your movie. That's the idea. So this can only be gotten through studying people. Study people. Identify writers. You can even study their style. Go to the internet and read the basics. Go to school if you have the money. Yeah, a lot of people are going into school to go and read astronomy. What are you, astronomy? To go and read about cloud and stuff. And there's no even place for you to practice all these things we are reading. There are schools. Go study script writing, study filmmaking, study directing, production design. There are things you can study. You become an authority. Right now, we don't have a lot of production designers. Apart from Pat Neighbor and few people, we lack them. We need people. I need to make a movie. I don't want to be begging people for their sitting rooms, for their houses.
When I want to have create what I
create it. Come to a big space like this, and I create everything I want, and stay in one space and finish my movie from beginning to the end. So if we have experts, you make a great living. You live decently, not even a great living.
Because you just move from one story to the other.
And once you are good, everybody will be chasing your life.
Okay, Taye, I hope you got that. So you got to keep training yourself. Now, this is a multi-question from, wow. Looks like it's from Jane, from Ojota, but let's be taking it. Have you ever done a movie that was put on hold or banned as a result of its negative impact?
No.
I don't think so too.
No,
I don't think
I haven't.
Okay.
But there's let me just say this, we need to be fair. There's a movie I did some time ago called Accidental Discharge. And because we are in the film industry, the film mirrored the life of a filmmaker. All right, so, and the guy submitted his film for censorship. And during censorship, his film was banned. And now, eventually, he went back to the DG of the Censors Board, and he was able to...
explain?
No, he was able to kind of compromise the DG, and eventually his film was approved and the film was released.
Wow.
Which is a story that can pass. But the Censors Board, as I said, they refused to let that happen until we made some changes to remove their name from it. You know, but it could happen. A DG can be influenced negatively. So it's a story. And what I expected the story to do was to make them sit up so that if somebody
so can guard against the
exactly. So
because like you said, it's prophetic. It is just warning what can happen. The danger that stays.
That was my intention, very genuine intention for doing it. So they stopped it for a while.
So how are we going to get everybody to begin to be abreast of what exactly this industry is doing?
Oh, well, I think people should begin to get the industry. Yeah, we have trainings and stuff within ourselves.
But now
we need to begin to speak out. You know, we need to
engage
exactly the audience, the people, so that they can understand these things and even have interagency, you know, like government right now. Yes, you know, it will go a long way in achieving what you're saying.
Okay, all right. Is it good for a movie creator to translate his ideology into his movie? Well, when it says probably political leaning or convictions.
Yeah, that's why we have democracy. But that's what we call media democracy. People have that freedom. Bring your stories, bring your ideas. There's no right or wrong. Bring it into the public sphere. It will cost a lot of debate. You know, you don't need to force everybody to go a certain way. So bring up your idea.
And that's what life is all about.
That's it. That's it. That's freedom of expression.
Okay. As one of the pioneers in the movie industry, how can you compare the growth then and now? Well, you said that before, but maybe this... You was not listening. How can you compare the growth then and now?
Well, then there was massive growth because people made lots of returns from their investment.
Then
so you make a movie, you have massive returns. You are encouraged to do something that will surpass your previous one. So we experienced that a lot in the early stages. But now, some people don't even make their money. Somebody can go to cinema and you hear the noise that the film has made this, and they do a lot of propaganda, but in the real sense, after the sharing of the formula, because when you make movies now, the cinemas are taking like 60%, and the owner of the movie is taking like 40%, and you have own 40%, you're still going to share with your distributor. So most times after the whole split, by the time you compute your production costs, exactly, you might still be owing the banks. So this has happened now. Then if you're lucky, because some people are lucky and they're able to break the box office and they make money and cover their costs. So they can go back again ambitiously and do something better and bigger. Right now, that story is not very easy. People who are breaking even are not much right now. So it has actually created a kind of lull. In
the industry, yes.
Exactly. So there's kind of lull in such, you know, because it's not a good story. Because we used to have DVDs and VCDs, what people call home video.
Yes.
You know, some people think that the term home video is a derogatory name to describe lesser movies. No.
Film just a means of
distribution. People
it's one of the channels.
Chains, when you make the movies, you go to cinema on the big screen so that people can see it in the cinema. You take your friend out, you sit down in the cinema, take your popcorn, and you see the movie on the big screen. So after showing the movie on the big screen, you take it to homes for home video, where people can see it through their television. All right, that's home video. So I'm saying this, I'm emphasizing it to clarify that. Now that home video aspect has opened us a lot to piracy. Do you know that recently a lot of films that are still shown in the cinemas, I don't know whether these guys are using juice, I don't know how they get it, they get copies. Your film is still showing in the cinema, you have not released it, even made your money, and somebody goes to churn out the DVD and is on the street selling 500 naira. So those millions is making this is going inside their pockets, not to the pocket of the owner of the film. That's why government has to, as a
A
matter of
role,
urgency,
yes.
the legislators, the executive, the judiciary, they have a moral burden and a huge responsibility to protect the industry, because there's a lot of unemployment in Nigeria right now.
And that industry,
Nollywood has taken up this burden from Nigeria by employing lots of people. And if care is not taken, if something is not done urgently,
those massive numbers will return to the streets
and to the labor market, and it's not going to be good for the country. So what are they supposed to do? They have to protect
the
this
industry
by, number one, enacting the rights,
copyright commission, the copyright law,
enforce the laws, and have maybe, because even the laws we have are not even strong enough.
They are not current, but they
strong
have made the
enough.
amendments. The amendments are still being weighted.
Exactly.
The Attorney General is looking at it.
Exactly.
Everybody's looking.
You understand?
So you're saying no, we need to fast track that.
Exactly, it has to be fast tracked so that we can save this industry.
Okay.
All right.
So I hope that answers your question. Then is it easy to make a movie that is featuring just movie veterans in it? Is it easy to make a movie like that?
That means you are consciously veterans in terms of actors.
Yes.
Okay, that means you want to. If somebody wants to do that, when you say veterans, people who have stayed very long in the industry, right there, because I want to understand the perspective it's coming from.
It must be.
But I want to believe that, and which means you must have to tell your stories in such a way that it can carry those people.
Otherwise,
because
it will fall flat.
Exactly, because stories, when you want to do a movie, you get your ideas without thinking about these things now, because they distract. Yes, you don't think about people who are going to act when you are creating your content. You go and create, allow it to come and create. When you finish, you go to the second stage where you begin to think about people who will do it.
That's a secret.
Yeah.
You guys, you need to see me, because I can let him do more. I can let him release more secret, but you have to. So
yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right. Jane from Ojota. Hi, Teco. It's good to see you as one of the pioneers of Nollywood. What, in your own perspective, can you give a thumbs up for today? And in what area are we still crawling? Thumbs up for the industry, and then where we are still crawling.
Okay, I will give thumbs up in the area of cinematography, in the area of because I say cinematography because the industry has grown now, as opposed to what we had before. We have serious growth right now. If you go to the US, most filmmakers make their movies on 4K now.
Yes.
Some people on 6K. Do you know that every new camera that is produced now in the world is in Nigeria?
Nigeria, yes.
Our people are now faster than even. Do you know that some of my friends? I went to edit a movie in San Antonio in Texas. I was surprised. The equipment the guy is using to edit is what we used like 15 years ago. So I was so disappointed. The machine was getting hot. We used it and put fan.
Just like we were using.
Yeah, I almost collapsed. That's not what I thought.
Yeah.
So I think we are really waking up. We are actually surpassing people's imagination. So we have invested
technology, yes.
Technology. The cinematography, we have lots of young guys now that have trained in cinematography, and they can take amazing videos. Even our musical video can show you these guys that people have improved seriously. And in the area of storytelling, we have improved also. Even script writing, you could see some movies now, you see suspense, see all that, as opposed to those days. Exactly. So there are so many areas of improvement. And even talking about our actors, we have serious improvement right now. Many people are getting improved. But in the midst of all this, there are still people that are lagging behind. All right? So they have to ship in or
ship out. All right. Before we leave, my producers are saying we are running away with other people's time. Felicia from Aja, is your real name Teco or is just a nickname? What is your real name and where are you from?
Well, my name is Teco. My father's name is Benson. All right. Teco might be an acronym of all my names put together. All right. So that's it. That's where I will stop for that one. Then I'm from Anambra State. I'm from a town called Ojoto. It's in the Demile South local government area of Anambra State. That's where I'm from. Thank you. All
right, Teco. Thank you for coming on the show. My producers are like, no. Other programs are going to be on air, but I want everybody that once Teco is here, you don't want him to go. Anyway, the conversation is never over. www.ntlsc.com, www.youtube.com/NTA2 Lagos. We're going to upload it so that all of you can then share with others what he has already touched on so many things. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for that.
We should have you again. Maybe once one of the movies are out, then we should let you come and then speak about that.
No problem. Anytime.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
So share the information with your friends. The cloud of information, the cloud of images, the agendas being set, and what roles you are playing, and what roles Nigeria should be playing, and what roles the Nigerian government should be playing to make sure that our narratives get to the best part of the world. Thank you, and bye for now.